So I have one final question for you. What advice do you have for anyone who's hoping to break into animation, comic books, just be the next Duncan?
Right. Well, advice. So when people ask me how to break in, the way that I broke in is a very bizarre way. First off, if you're going to have an artistic life, you have to pick up a lot of different disciplines because ultimately what you are is you're creating the brand of you. And whatever that is, you're the best person to know that. But it's going to it isn't a life like if you were to become an engineer or if you were to go and there are specific requirements for this type of job, that you could go to school and then it's a plug and play thing. Like all of a sudden you could just move into this career because you need to know this computer language and you need to know that blah blah blah. In an artistic life, you've got to create yourself, and it takes a lot longer
Yep.
because it's indefinable. You have to spend some time creating whatever your brand is. You're the widget. You're the thing that you are making. So you're an inventor, and you're an inventor of you, and whatever skill sets that you go out and you gather, that's what you are. So go out and gather as many different skill sets as you possibly can. Go out and have a lot of experiences, meet a lot of different people, formulate opinions, and have experiences that other people don't have so that when you tell them to them, it's interesting.
Yeah.
We all share about 90% of the same stories. It's the 10% of those things that
are
maybe are
different.
like, wow,
This, who
let
is
me.
this? How did he come
Yeah,
up with
how do you
that?
get there? So, first off, that's your job. Your job is to go out and have a whole bunch of experiences and then synthesize them into your art. So that's the first thing. I don't think just sitting inside of your room thinking about stuff is the best way to do it. You got to go out and do stuff and be and include yourself in a whole bunch of different stuff. Then now I think that's the same. I don't care who or where or whatever time period you're born in. That you need to do. The other thing, so that now I did all of the submissions and the standing in the lines and the portfolios and stuff because that's how you had to do it when I was growing up. That's not the same now. There's all of these online places, and you don't need big companies to get your work out.
No, you can
You
do it.
can do it yourself. You with a
Webcomics, Kickstarter, Indiegogo,
absolutely,
and just draw and put it up. Post a page a day on social
absolutely.
media.
It's just then building an audience from that, so that that's the hard part is building an audience. But building an audience is also being consistent, having a point of view,
Yeah.
And anything that you've chosen to work on, do your best at it, man. Don't play half-ass, because I think the biggest hardest thing for some people, and this took me a long time, is just to call yourself what you are. You're an artist. It sounds poncy. It's kind of like if you went in and go, I'm a poet,
Yeah.
or something like that. You always feel like, oh, that's kind of gross, or like,
yeah, you're
really.
like, oh,
But
I feel pretentious saying
yeah,
it.
it's
You're like,
yeah, you do. You feel pretentious doing it, but if you did all of that work, and that's what you do, is you've gathered these experiences, you've seen stuff, and you synthesize it, and you try to express it to people, and in some kind of meaningful way. That's what an artist is.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing, and people like that. But the first person you have to convince of being an artist is yourself. And thirdly, and this is a big component, I know, and this was just firsthand experience, but also I just see it everywhere. It's a lot of people who do get into the arts. They look at the business side as this kind of like horrid prostitute kind of thing. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Everything's a business.
Yeah.
Everything's a business, and learning even how best to present your stuff to other people, and setting up a best ways to get your stuff to people, and all of those things. If you don't have some rudimentary knowledge on it, you're running a business. The placard and the company and the business is you.
Mm-hmm.
And you better know some of that stuff, because at some point you're going to have to learn it, or you're going to have to get somebody who knows how to do it help you with it.
And you learn by trying. You do trial and
Absolutely,
error.
absolutely. And so, a lot of people, they turn their nose up on some of that stuff, but it's kind of like basic skill stuff. You should
have
know
to get
this.
in there.
Yes, you do. And so, I mean, it's a combination of those three things. I think ultimately, if you can honestly say to yourself, you don't need to have a life in these things to keep on doing your art. That's the first place you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be okay with never making money, but being content with it. I think if you're okay with that enough, honestly, sometimes life gets hard. You need to stop doing that and make some money to pay something. You got to do it. Yeah, that's right. But if you can be in a place where you can do your stuff, and if people are never going to see it, that doesn't mean that you're not going to finish it.
Yeah.
Because you saw something out there, you experienced something that needs to be recorded and put out some way. Even if it's just a fun, kid preoccupying his mind on a walk home from school. We all need that. Well, all of us.
Absolutely.
So I think as long as you're doing that all the time, generating stuff, making it. The other stuff's actually a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, you just have to, start learning the processes, and all of
right.
a sudden these things
some of those are just skills. There's a lot smarter people who have figured out how to merchandise stuff, and things like that. Just learn from them, look at how they did it.
Exactly.
And go, okay, that's great,
Thank you so much for coming on today
Absolutely.
and talking comics and animation. It's been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely.